Europe is changing.
It's time to act, because
the future is yours!
200 youth from all over Europe have gathered on a small island in Denmark to discuss the big questions and manifest 5 political visions for the future of Europe. By inviting prominent politicians and leading candidates for the EP elections and present our 5 visions to make them face our reality, my future, your future.
We demand our voices to be heard.
Because we are the leaders of tomorrow, and this time,
Young Europe is voting!
Join the movement.
raise your voice.
Vote.
Hello, this is your captain speaking. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you on this ferry that will take you to Ungdomsøen for the final days of Young Europe is Voting.
So right now I'm on a boat to go to the youth island where the youth summit will be, where 200 young Europeans will meet, 100 students from Danish folk high schools and 100 young Europeans from all over Europe. These past days we've been split out on 10 different folk high schools where we've discussed 5 different topics. Each school has had their own topic, and then we've tried to come up with some visions and some calls for actions for the politicians and the future MEPs.
This person has come from a country where they don't feel safe. They travelled in a way that was not easy.
Trade should be made only with entities that respect human rights.
Revive the different institutions within the EU.
98% from the migrants from Albania actually claimed.
I joined this program because I think it's important that the youth gets involved and that EU is put on a level where it's not as high up, so to say, and far away in Brussels, but it's taken down to our everyday life because that's where the EU actually is, we just don't talk about it.
Welcome everybody to this Facebook live streaming at the Youth Island just outside of Copenhagen. We are gathered 200 young Europeans for a weekend of discussions, workshop and presenting a youth manifest about the future of Europe. We will start in a minute. There will be keynote speakers and speeches from the Danish Prime Minister, EU Commissioner Margrethe Vestager and so on. So please stay tuned and welcome to the Youth Island and the Young Europe is Voting Youth Summit in Copenhagen.
As the generation of the future, you need to ask yourself some important questions. What kind of Europe do you want? How do you think we should secure a sustainable European future? And this Youth Summit is a testimony that all of you gathered here today share this passion of civility and engagement. So it is my pleasure to finally open this Young Europe is Voting. Welcome.
And you know, if there's anything my generation and the older generation needs, it is for you to set an example. So let us show us that now is the time for each and every one running for office in the European election, that you will show the way to take responsibility to form our future. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming.
Just we care, we dare, okay?
We finally come up with one single manifesto that contains all of our views and what we think as youth right now are the main issues that we want to tackle and we want politicians to tackle. We've decided to call it by its Danish name, so Ungdomsøen Manifesto.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Let's live together!
So right now, the politicians are carrying what were originally, I guess, ideas that people had in their heads about weights and pressures that they had on their shoulders, but they've made it on a more literal sense, that they're actually carrying these weights that young Europeans are facing.
Because we as the European youth, we can't handle this alone. We can't carry this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us.
We're heading to the hangar where the politicians will be presented with the Ungdomsøen Manifesto, and we'll make them listen to the points that we have put on this manifesto and we've discussed for the past few days.
Please give a warm welcome to the group that will present the Ungdomsøen Manifesto. So please come on stage.
We advocate for accessible, high-quality education with equal opportunities for young people, regardless of their background.
We want a European Union that increases awareness, that recognizes and ensures and protects basic human and civil rights within the European Union. And regarding to the development of a European culture, we want to achieve so through European folk high schools. A meeting place for youth, regardless of education and background, to forge a European culture and identity.
We want an educational system that aims both to educate the European population in order to prevent discrimination and prejudice, and to facilitate the introduction of migrants and refugees in the cultural and in the working sphere.
Our vision is a European Union that considers itself a world citizen, which is capable of engaging in friendly dialogue while seeing potential in it.
We want to see funding being moved away from subsidizing the fossil fuel industry and other carbon-intensive industries to being used for climate action. We want to live in an EU that cares about our future. Thank you.
I feel powerful after this weekend, and I think that every young person in Europe should just take part in a conversation, meet up with other people who are passionate about the same thing as you, and then work for the change you want to see in society.